And welcome to the second game of this evening. Got Flatball Z in blue and Sneak in white. Thanks for joining us. We'll line you up with some commentators shortly. Stay tuned. Turn there, Sneak had possession. Oh, Ang Dang. The big soot. Oh, Trans has enough. So the guest drummer here from Felix. What do you got to say? Follow the disc on the line. Finds one. White with the guns out tonight. Finds Sanderson. Some vintage Sando there. Fold does enough to run it in. First score, Flatball Z. And I'm joined in the commentary booth, Mr. Sean Davis himself. Talk us through that big win that we just saw.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Oh,
actually.
spoilers if you haven't watched them in order.
And no, that was good for us. I think the last few times we've played Zimmer, we haven't had our confidence very high. We've been very concerned with the other team and their abilities, but we took a different approach this week as the last few weeks, and we're just trying to focus on ourselves and focus on what we can execute, and it's paying dividends at the moment, which is nice.
Yeah, it was a great game to watch. Clinical from the other side, as many of your games have gone the other way.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's good to start moving late in the season. This will definitely be a good game, though. Tight first point already with a couple turns, but every team's now had some wins and losses, and I think the league's really tightening up, so I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, beautiful. And we got Fold with the pull.
Yep. So White here receiving. You're going to see Connor Fletcher and Sammy Ogden, for those that don't know, just do a lot of throwing this game. They like to stand behind the disc, distribute well. Hopefully that happens, or I'm going to look like a real fool.
Oh, it's a pretty safe bet.
Greg Schrader with the disc here, puts it Alfie Edgeworth, sticks out, plucks it with the right paw. Adelaide Dragons pun, definitely not intended with that.
Safe hands back to Schrader. Oh, and the big boy Huck again.
He puts it. He's got the throwing light tonight, and he picks the big boy in the end zone. Sammy inches Ogden, pulls it up there. Greg Schrader handling, Sammy Ogden receiving. It's going to be a wild one tonight, I'm sure.
Bring it back to 1-1.
Oh. So, Rexy, tell me through these teams. You've been watching a lot of these games. I've only been playing against them. Is there anyone we should be looking out for?
Oh, the biggest guns on the field, probably Whiten. Look at him, he's showing them off. You let him go, he'll punish you for it.
It's a bold move in that ISOC singlet as well. I don't know too many people this side of the equator who would want to be donning that strip voluntarily. And as I say that, other fellow ISOC player joining me in the commentary booth.
I have never played for ISOC in my life.
So I
just spit on the thought.
That's Andy Bad Boy Baddock you're hearing. Andy, captaining your team this week to another victory. How's that feel?
Oh, mate, I'm very happy to have a co-captain as good as you. It's working out nicely. Nice. See, you reviewed the footage.
You're making me
This
blush.
footage is very, very handy.
Oh, so good.
And you did a great job. Paid dividends.
I
can't see. There's a few people in our way, but Sando
Scary to John Brill there. You got White here coming out in a zone. David Sanders on the disc. He's going to do a lot today. Ben Foley as well. Arguably one of the best poppers in the state. With Tim Davis out with a broke and everything, he's really in a league of his own here.
Sando's very solid behind the disc, and Scary's having a blinder of a season.
Yeah, I think Scary just lives and dies for Super League, really. He rests up for the other 10 months of the year.
You don't know what you're going to get from him as a captain. You just don't know. You can try and talk to him. He's pretty modest. Doesn't give away much.
As we say here, though, they're doing a very good job. Early stool count. Oh! Scary puts it in the air.
Oh, just throws his fist at it by the looks of it.
Oh, call on the field. John Brill showing his guns off to the camera. Then decides he hasn't hit the gym enough and maybe he shouldn't.
Looked like a good no call without the replay.
So Sammy Ogden here hitting Andrew Chua on the under. Andrew Chua, another veteran of Super League.
Sammy really gets his wheels on, and it's rare for. Yep, there we go. I was going to say it's rare for Greg Schrader to look off a deep option.
We see it again. That's the second point in a row. Greg Schrader putting a hammer to his captain, Sammy Inches Ogden. Maybe not what you would have imagined at the start of the game, but hey,
perhaps the opposite.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, you've been going deep a lot lately. Maybe Sammy's been taking notes.
I think we're just trying to show the receivers that it's really not that hard. I don't know what they're whinging about.
Well, it's easy when you've got a handler guard on you.
Oh, yeah, they don't know what to do in the air. Oh, you can hear Sammy there on the field, Mike.
I've not been watching.
Sammy Ogden, do you have any words for the commentary booth? Back-to-back goals.
Great to be for Hammers. It's a winning combination.
We called it here. He called it as well. Watch that for the rest of the game. We'll wonder if they start to double, triple team him, maybe going to the end zone.
Well, I would say it's probably not a bad idea to let Greg have his hammer, but just mark a little bit tighter. He'll still throw it, but you'll be there to get it, at least, hopefully.
You know this team will put it as well. Greg likes to put him, but you also have Sammy himself and Connor Fletcher with another dime hammer throws. You just got to watch his games of previous weeks, and he just launches them all over the field.
I have to say, I'm very impressed with Connor over the years. He's. I remember watching him in the first few weeks he was out, or the first 6 months or so, working so hard on his throws, and it's really paid off. He's gotten a lot better. His defense has always been pretty strong.
It's got to be a great lesson for young players. You have to think, just throw.
It's incredible. But all the best throwers, you talk to them about it, and when they're sincere, they'll tell you they were out throwing at trees and... Oh, good D, good read.
Wilson Tran trying to get his team on his back here.
Now, Wilson Tran's been very sharp. He came off a good beach season, looking incredibly sharp for the what were they called? I can't remember. The Australian team, anyway. The Reef Sharks, that's it.
3v1 play.
And Willie's going to lay out and misses it.
Signature Rob Whiten right there. He gets the disc. He throws it without hesitation. Pays off 90% of the time, but the other 10% like that, you just wonder why you just don't hold it for another second.
So what's the score we're looking at here? I haven't been watching. I'm sorry. I apologise.
I believe
I'm on the edge of my seat. What is it?
I believe it's 2-1. We don't have a screen with us today, but we'll try to do our best to keep track of it.
Blue is coming into this game with a lot of form, and White is a little bit out of form. So it's good to see it's a bit closer. These two had a pretty good game last time, and then Blue got away from him, if my memory serves correctly.
Giving Rob White a little bump, just moves to Foley. Foley soots it. David Sanderson winding back the years.
And not far enough. Didn't quite wind back far enough.
That was the 2012 Masters at Worlds. Tom Regacki always liked Brenda Sando. Sando would have got that back then. Another decade.
If you haven't watched that footage, go back and have a look. If you're new to the game, it's a classic.
Tom Regacki to David Sanderson. You couldn't hear that enough times.
We're very proud of Sanderson in South Australia.
He's a hero. Freddie Ramadan there. I'm sure a lot of young boys that he's going to be their hero as well in future years. He puts it, and as we speak, Sando gets the block.
Yeah, someone has to put it into this breeze every now and then, otherwise defense just comes right in and everything gets stifled. So, you know, he put his hand up to throw it, but he didn't quite have enough on it.
It's a rough week for fantasy.
Do you think he's the right one to throw that? Does he have the big throws into the breeze?
He's got lovely throws. He doesn't have the grunt power as some other throwers do.
Yeah, he's got the real short range, sharp short range throws.
He's got very clean snap. He just doesn't have that extra oomph maybe.
Oh, Tim Stevens just out of reach again. Yeah. And he should also be marking a handler ideally, I would imagine, but I guess Blue started on D.
You just don't want to be marked by 30. He's got the disc here, though, on the other hand, walking up to the front. Tim Stevens at 30 is an awkward matchup. You'd hope that 30 will keep running. Tim Stevens would want to get him in the deep space and use his height.
Looking a bit stuck, but lovely wide release backhand. No inside force, which helped. The force has changed here. And again, okay. It's flick. I would imagine it should be flick, and Tim should eat it. Yep.
Like
nice
I
D, Tim.
That. Tim Stevens pushing.
He's got good
deep.
speed. He's got a good heart. All right, timeout called.
You know, early in the game, early timeout burning, these guys are feeling it. It's not as warm as it has been a bit over the last months, but it's hard to get moving, that's for sure.
So last game these two played, I remember, well, the last game I remember watching, might have been the first week, I think, when I was commentating. I remember there was a lot of zone and there was less wind. Tonight, not much zone, a lot more wind. Don't know what the thinking there is, but interesting nevertheless. Ferdy being here, he's a very, very, very good handler guard. He's probably, I think, up there as one of the top 2 or 3 handler guards in the state at the moment. I find him incredibly difficult to get away from, and he finds those sneaky little Ds. He's got good speed off the mark.
Do you know the word for those people, Andy? They're pests. They're
yeah.
They're the pests you always want in your team.
I was thinking.
Gotta love a good pest.
Yeah, okay.
In the most lovely way I can say it.
Yeah. No, it's nice to see these young guys coming up. I can't believe how young they are, a lot of these guys as well. It's really cool.
1, 2, 3. Just making yourself sound old now, Andy.
Does that really? Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm learning. Don't talk about young people.
So right, winding back, it's a lot of good mix here. You have Sando, who's probably, Sanderson would be late 30s, maybe even early 40s here on the field. And Ferdy Ramadan is probably barely out of grade school. I think he might be finally going to university as well. So
Sando looks the same as he always does, just slowed down slightly, but he looks exactly the same. He looked like that since he was 10.
That would have been a scary look. He was buying booze from the age of 12, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So bringing in here, Alfie on the mark, trapping on the sideline here. This first throw is the most important, trying to get it off the sideline. Connor doing some good job stifling.
Oh, that's the flick that we know, without any momentum in the rest of his body, just all wrist.
Foley.
And Foley claims it. No one contests. Goal.
You've got to be a little happy with that, I think, if you're White. You've stifled them, you've trapped them. They've put up a late-ish stall count throw there. It is the throw
I
you
don't
want
know.
and the
That would
receiver
annoy
you
the
want,
crap out of me if I was White, but anyway. I get what you're saying though. Yeah, you've got to remember the positives in those situations, and you've got to remember that that's what you want them to do. That means you've been defending well elsewhere, and they might come your way later.
We'll be keen to see as this game develops as well. If that's a tactic definitely for White, if they're trying to push Blue to the deep space, or see what they're looking for. But we clearly know White coming out here on offense. They're going to want to put it.
It's interesting. I think we found in our game that back and bid was better going when we were defending into the breeze, I guess you could say. So they were going with breeze. We sat deep of him a little bit, made him throw it a few more times, pushed him under, and tried to just put that pressure on. Yeah, every time I think we gave him a bit of space deep, they would put it and often score. So maybe Blue could review the footage from last game quickly in a timeout. And
ULTI.TV do a pretty brilliant job. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not online already. For those at home, the breeze is a slight right to left of your screen, but it is picking up and dropping down. It's almost as a thrower's win at the moment.
It's a tricky shot, but he's done it. Oh, Andrew just throws his fist at it again. I don't know what's going on tonight. Everyone's just throwing their hand at the disc and hoping. I think he was looking down at the line as he was running and missed that one, unfortunately.
You got to go disc first, but I'm sure he'll learn that for the next play, and he's going to try and earn a block back here for his team. He's on Sam Davey, who's another workhorse similar to him, so he's going to have a hard running point.
He's a very handy player, Andrew Chua. I actually like putting him on a handler. I used to love putting him on Roden and players like that. And it frees up other defenders to do a job on the cutters. And that's Callahan potentially. It is. 6-point play for the stats followers around.
Greg Schrader's already got 2 assists before this play. He's got to be on something ridiculous.
That is a big boost to his score. That's 3 points for the D, 2 points for the assist, and 1 point for the goal. You get all 3 stats your way. So don't think I've ever scored a Callahan in Super League.
Oh, really? Yeah. You don't have a lot of opportunity.
No.
But, it would
maybe
be nice.
maybe 1 or 2. Maybe 1 or 2. You know, I don't really follow my stats that closely.
The Andy of now, the Andy of past, would never have said that.
Oh, I used to follow it very closely. I love it. I'm glad the stats are back online this year.
Fantastic job, and a shout out to our volunteers tonight. Kristen and Sophie Taylor and their helpers doing the live play-by-play stats.
Wave at the camera. Yeah. No, I think the stats provide a little bit of extra pressure on players. You know, it's sort of almost artificial pressure, but we don't get those high pressure games in South Australia that often, and I think it's a way of sort of giving people something else to think about and making things a little bit harder. And I don't know, I really like it, and I hope that it stays around forever.
I hope so too. Yeah, it'll be good.
Oh,
Connor Fletcher with the pull here. We saw a lot in the first time slot today drift out on this near sideline, but that one holds its edge well. Sanderson behind the disc. Scott Schwartz, never know. He's going to make some big throws.
Yeah, unfortunately, he pushes the boundaries a little bit. He sees things that he thinks are there. Ooh.
Speaking of seeing things, Sammy Ogden maybe with the same thing there. He'll be kicking himself.
He was not happy with Alfie, I think, in that play, but I'm not sure if it was I'm not sure if anyone could have gotten that.
I think classic handle attitude, right? Just put it to space and complain why your receivers can't run it down.
Well, he darted that one into the floor, but yeah.
Rob Whiten here, he's always going to get gainers. Moves it quickly. Aidan Mitchell coming up the guts from Southern Hills Ultimate. He's been playing for quite a while and always a workhorse as well. Foley and Sando behind the disc here, playing a bit of give and go. Wilson Tran as well. With this slight downwind breeze they have, it's not going to be too hard to keep it moving using those overheads.
And Aidan Mitchell, great point.
Yeah.
He was popping, he was just always there, yeah. He was in the right spot, getting the feel.
These boys love those little overhead scubas. Watching their previous weeks, I know against us last week, they would put them in millimetre holes and they would come off every time. So they just want to go, 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 go. Yeah,
they have a lot of energy, Blue Team. I remember when we played them with, they only had 6 players and they just came out with so much energy and nothing to lose. But they do bring that energy even when they've got a full squad here. I think that's their biggest asset. A lot of hype, a lot of energy. Good defense. You can exploit some of the newer guys a little bit, and they're getting the hang of it. And that's what Super League's about a little bit. You exploit them until they work it out. But overall, they've just got a lot of energy, and you can see I think they're mathematically through to the final. We shouldn't give that away. No spoilers.
I haven't been crunching the numbers, but I'll take your word on it.
Yeah.
So Blue here coming out on defense. It'll be interesting to see if they Stick with the zone or the match. Believe they've played a little bit of both so far. If they do come down here,
It's a great pull.
it is definitely a man.
Fantastic pull into the breeze. Breeze has dropped a little, but great pull.
Sammy with that dominated
a little
movement.
bit deep.
Oh,
Alfie.
that's rough. He'd already turned to come under. He was probably 40 odd meters from Sammy when he put it. But Sammy, shooter's got to shoot. And in blue team, they got to work.
And
That's
not
how
a
they
bad
want to
little
play.
throw. Kept it just low enough. Leant back on it a bit, which was a worry, but John Brill with it again. He's got such a strange forehand action.
Not going to argue with that, but he's got such a
But it
brilliant game sense.
He does.
He's a great
He's
player.
a sportsman. Thinks about the game a lot. Loves it. It's great. Foley doesn't like his wide release backhand too much, and Scotty's looking. That's dangerous. He doesn't like Foley. Wants it back ideally. Oh, and he gets it free of charge.
So travel here. I know Foley hates nothing more than being called on his travels. But luckily we have the game footage. We'll better watch it back through the week.
So watch, if Foley throws it around, no, just not going to do it.
Just a do-over.
He doesn't like his around break, and there we go with the big flick, and it's come off this time. I would say if you're White, you wouldn't be too unhappy with that from Scott Swart, because when he does that and he gets it, he's then confident enough to do it many more times often with players there. So if they send poachers deep or be mindful to exploit that, you can get a few turns out of Scott. Ideally, Scott, though, is very fast. He's a handy player if he's upfield, cutting deep, cutting around, and then dumping it. When he dumps it and gives those quick give-goes and then busts out, it's not give-goes, dishes, and busts out deep again, he can be very dangerous.
Totally agree with you there. Picking his receivers there, Rob White, and not very few players are going to go with him well, especially with a throw up there to the break side. No, playing them in the past, they love that throw. I think Rob got probably 3 on me about 4 or 5 weeks ago from just floaty break side throws.
Very frustrating.
He probably had about 5-6 inches on me, but...
What about his height? No.
He's,
No. Oh, I meant width.
He's a solid 6'1", I'd say, Rob Whiten. Or maybe even a 6'2", he reckons. In height, that is.
Multiple hands up from White. They're very eager to get going. I think they're a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than standing there and just thinking about it, but hopefully they'll have the grit to drive it in. Blue are going to want to make them throw a...
Drop. Oh, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, it's rough.
All right.
It's the
You
right
keep your head
play,
up
but
and there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to go. Learn from it. Move on.
be very keen to watch how this play develops as well. Is Connor Fletcher going to go and try and earn one back for his team?
Looks like there's an ISO on John Brill.
Oh, they're hunting, and they've done well.
Dump,
They've sent
swing.
them back.
Lovely.
Aiden
Foley
Mitchell
loves
again.
his flick swing. Aiden Mitchell looking. Oh, not expected. Nice throw. Break around the leg. He gave the head nod. Sends the break around the legs. I did not, did not see that coming. Something to look out for next week.
People surprising you left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Aiden Mitchell with a beautiful low break throw. Known for his running, but maybe in the future he'll be known for his throwing as well.
He's been out on the farm throwing at trees as well.
Must have been. Must have been
I
using
like
that
it.
holiday break.
He is on holidays at the moment. Another teacher. He's a very good masseuse, by the way. I've had him once. Went up there in the holiday break. I'll put the word out for him. Not good price too, but he knows what he's doing. He knew better than my my physio how to fix me. So get on board.
For talking about Aiden Mitchell as well, you
He
can't
now owes ULTI.TV some money.
you can't help but mention Jermaine as well, the local South Australian sister trio. Aiden is married to lead singer Georgia Jermaine, happening at the Fringe this year. So
Oh, he
check
owes you
out-
more money. She owes you money some as well.
I don't know. I've just gone the past few years. It's a great show. So if you want to support one of South Australia's local talents. They tour the world. They've toured with Little Mix in the past. I recommend
Nice.
get out and watch them. Anyway, Singh here with the confidence, catches the pull. Interesting.
Alfie, great cut under. Good getting his body behind it. Sometimes he goes for the one-hand catch with those, but he got the whole body behind it. I like that look.
Distributing. Sammy, I think, wants to get out of here, but they've got a smart matchup. They got Rob White, and so if Sammy tries to go to the end zone like he has in the past, Rob's going to be there with him for wheels.
I like it, yeah. Oh.
Aiden Mitchell again. The star for Blue so far.
I think that time he was a bit lucky. It was not a good throw, but hey, if you're there, you're around the place all the time, D's come your way. Foley throws to 3 white players, and somehow a blue player gets it.
Wilson Tran sticks out the right.
I don't think Foley was too happy with that, but got the job done.
Pick your in-form receiver. Coming out of, Wilson Tran, what a player. Watch him out for the rest of Super League, for the rest of the next 5 years of Outbreak. That
absolutely.
was superb.
No, he's playing great defense and apparently good offense.
What's the score? 6-3 Blue.
So Foley with the pull.
So it's 6-3 here.
6-3. Okay, what can White do? I think lift their heads a bit. They do have some very strong handlers, very strong handler guards, strong players. It feels like they're a little bit stifled by this energy of the blue team. The energy in the defense really catches people.
And you got to look back at how they've scored their goals so far. So 2 with Greg Schrader, Hammers, and Sammy Ogden. So maybe they'll try that again this point. And the third one, Greg Schrader with a Callahan. So they're really almost relying on a bit of their top-end experience to come. Hopefully some of these younger players like Singh, Ferdy, Hong, Alfie, Connor will be able to step up, grind out this point for them.
I think it was a very smart matchup to put Rob Whiten on Sam Ogden, because he just did not want to run deep at that point. He stopped, he stayed back, and they weren't quite getting that same flow suddenly.
I know I've had Rob mark me in the past as a handler, and it's frustrating, but he's on Greg Schrader here, 2 of South Australia's best receivers matching up on this near sideline. And Tim Stevens on Sammy.
Ogden's getting moving again. They have put another tall guy on him. I like it, but he's getting moving.
He's going and he wants it, but Connor's going to distribute well from the backfield. He's got a great range of throws here.
Stoppage, don't know what for. I imagine a pick. In the middle, looks like Scary's talking about it, and play on. Everybody's happy.
Good stack discipline here. White dragging themselves to the near sideline, opening up that nice fat cutting lane. Alfie, another great undercut, catching it on the chest. He's looking upfield, trying to find that
dumps
flow.
It back. Yep, puts it out in space. Nice. Huge gainers. I think the stack is very deep.
Deep and disciplined, I would say. They're opening up their lanes a little bit, whether intentional or not. They're finding great fat cutting lanes on the side of the disc. Greg's got to put this
inside break that we got there, and no one was on him. Greg just had to work out how to get it to him.
Greg Schrader, 3 assists plus a
3
Callahan.
assists out of 4. Oh,
plus
4
a
assists.
Callahan
So he's
as well.
gotten all 4 assists. Well done,
Man
Greg.
is on fire. Some people thought maybe he was too old. Maybe his best years were past him, but
somehow he hasn't slowed down. I feel like I've slowed down a little bit. Not that I tell anyone that, but somehow he has stayed. I used to beat him in races. And then he worked out how to run. He taught himself how to actually swing his arms properly. He got a lot faster and has not dropped the speed, as far as I can tell. Another fast one's Scary.
Oh, lightning.
Scary McKenzie, pretty quick.
Lightning
I've beaten
quick
him too,
Scary
just to be fair. Officially, not the fastest man in SA Ultimate, but, you know.
He got a couple speeds.
That's just official.
Well.
No one cares about the official results.
When was
Spirits in Disguise need to hold another tournament. I think it was about eight or 9 years ago. I won the last 2. And longest hammer. I've got the longest hammer. Howling wind into my face. Just run up baseball style.
Just peg it like a
And
pitcher.
somehow I got the longest hammer. I like it.
When was, for those at home that might not be aware, Andy Baddocks did win the Doolio one year.
Oh yeah.
The Doolio
people said I cheat, but it's on the footage. You
held
can watch
at
it
Nationals.
yourself.
So the Doolio is
2011.
a race at half-time that defines the fastest play in Australian Ultimate. So Andy Baddocks, the 2011 Doolio champion.
It was the height of my career.
I can totally imagine it would have been.
Fuck you. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Puck you. Miss.
We'll try to bleep that out for the kids watching at home. Ooh, Foley here coming under. Sam Davey not able to grab it with the right hand. Connor Fletcher going to distribute from the back
No around
again.
here. No. Interesting mark. He's taken the crazy arm approach. I like it. Sam Ogden, the general of this white team.
What I'm calling Greg Schrader with the goal here. But Aiden Mitchell's on him. Aiden's had a good game so far, but Greg Schrader is having a blunder, as I call it. Sammy to Greg.
Oh!
That's
a tough one to catch when you got a player right there. He went forward just a little bit, and because he didn't trust that he'd be able to back and catch over the top.
It's a big trust throw. They're still trying to run a lot through some of those players, those top order draft picks.
Hand block.
Ooh, that's
Hand
a
block and
strange
goal.
little backhand.
Double
but
happiness for Hong. Just enough. Foley is very unhappy with that. Not sure what happened.
So we talked about some of those players maybe needing to step up here for White, trying to get it out of those experienced players' hands, and Hong just there gets the hand block, runs, gets the goal. Hopefully that's going to inspire them here.
Hong is quite unsuspecting, and he comes out with some amazing stuff. Huge layouts I've seen him do. Just unbelievable. Puts his body on the line. Glasses stay on most of the time as well. Unbelievable.
It's always better when they stay on, that's for sure.
Yeah. What happened, Foley?
I thought Wilson was free under. So I was like, yeah. As soon as I see he turned, I was like, yeah. And then as I'm in the motion, he turns away.
Ah.
So I tried to reel it in. It was just
And Hong got a touch on it as well, I think. Yeah.
classic, I think, mate.
So classic handler explanation there. Blaming the receiver, pulling out of their cut. For any of those young handlers watching the footage, always know it is the receiver's fault if the throw does not come off.
And for the record, the reverse combination of me and Greg does not appear to work tonight.
No, so we've heard it from there as well. Greg hucking to Sammy, as none of you would expect has been working, but Sammy is not going to be thrown to Greg for much more tonight. He wants to get it from him instead.
They've started putting big receivers on you though, Sammy. Started putting big receivers on you. How do you feel?
Good, happy.
Okay. Sam Ogden is happy. He takes the unders, all right.
So Connor Fletcher here calling the line, lining up for the pull. He's lost the bucket hat, which I think is a great move. The bucket hat is very unaerodynamic. I did not understand it very much, so maybe he'll be a little quicker without it. Maybe he
Centers to Sando.
maybe he got his eyes on that pull early, who knows.
Out to Mackenzie. They've given him a few easy passes for the handler movement. Not quick down on the handlers, on the pull. Big fake. Nice undergainer to Sam. Forgotten his last name.
Sam Davey.
Davey, that's it.
A lot of
Yeah.
janking from Scary, but he finds the reset. So they've got in their trusty thrower's hands. David Sanderson squeezes the line. Andrew Chua gets off his
Now
feet.
that was a great bid. Andrew Chua again on defense, amazing Super League defender. It's very handy player. That sideline has been very hard to hit tonight. There's been a lot of turnovers from the backhand down that sideline.
But I think you watch that, and that starts with Blue's inability to try to swing and attack the far side of the field there. 3, 4, 5 throws all within 1/3, and in there they try to squeeze it in that third. You want to change the angle, just like Connor's going to do
It's his
here.
favourite throw to Greg Schrader tonight. He can't hold on to the hammers himself. He'd rather throw them.
He was hot. He was so hot, but maybe don't throw him any more hammers.
Oh!
Tim
Hong forgot to
Stevens.
jump. Even if he jumped, Tim Stevens still has a bit of height on him, but it might have been his off foot. I don't know.
Yeah, he would have had to do something.
Still going around.
He would have had to do something a bit crazy there to try to get it, but.
Well, remembering to jump is a good start. He does have a bit of a jump on him when he jumps, but
it's always a good start. So Blue putting one away here, trying to stretch out their lead, but it's definitely more of a game.
Good atmosphere too. Beautiful scenery in the background. I always talk about it, but when we sit down in this commentary box, it's lovely to look over there.
Yeah, not
see the
many,
city, the lovely trees of the parklands.
Not many places in Australia where you're able to find fields so close to the city.
Yeah, and if they light up some of the other fields as well, I think SA Ultimate will grow a lot. This has been the home of SA Ultimate for so long. It's the spiritual home.
You only got to check the advertiser probably 12, 18 months ago. Big development plans coming for the area. So
fantastic. Foley with the backhand pull, not bad into the less breeze now, but still stiff.
So Sammy Ogden here going for
and
Greg.
He's not going to look that off. No way. And nice D to Wilson Tran.
Oh, what a play.
I think Wilson knew he was not going to look that off as well. Smart play.
So Wilson Tran is stepping up for his team, making a nice forehand grab in the corner, going this way last time, getting a block now, and Foley's going to bring it up from the sideline. 30 v Foley, that's an exciting matchup. That's what I want to watch.
It is. So if Ferdy can let him dump it out, then just own him on. Oh, nice Ferdy. A lot of pressure. I like that. Foley's done. He's smart. He's gotten out. John Brill's behind the disc now. No dump, but he swings it. Almost looks like a straight up force there, and Foley gets the goal.
He wins it this time.
They sort of could shoot to either side of the field, which, yeah, I don't know what White's intentions were there. Maybe they forgot the force, but maybe they were doing a real inside sort of straight up look. But, yeah, looked like Blue could just do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I think there's a good lesson there. Trying to attack the opposite side early, keeping your mark at bay, definitely allows you a lot more throwing options. If you just start staring down one quadrant of the field, then they're going to lock in. So learning to try to spread early, getting your mark off, and then you're going to open up a good range of throws. So Wilson Tran's done that well there.
So good offense, but slightly poor defense.
And some good bookends. Wilson Tran with a D and the assist. He's feeling it tonight.
And we're back on. So we just listened to the huddle. I listened to Blue,
Flatball
Z, and basically the message was, well, to begin with, they said more energy, which we talk about. They're very, very much driven by energy and play better when they bring that. Most teams do. But tactically, they said defensively they've got to swoop more, and offensively they are They want to play more lateral. Makes sense. That's a good common message. Get that lateral movement and hard undercutting. So
that's definitely
pretty straightforward. All comes from energy.
Watching them in the past, that's definitely something you've noted against these guys. That they love to spread their field, and when they're the best, it's because they can spread really wide and they just attack and go up the sidelines, one off the other, back to like that really simple thing. So,
and they've picked some really. Wilson Tran has picked some other really good midfield cutters. So that is their strength, that hard cutting, lots of energy. Yeah, and then just get that movement laterally. Handlers don't have to do as much if you could just get it off quickly and keep it moving.
Yeah, definitely. You look at the players on that line, and Ben Foley, Wilson Tran, Scott McKenzie.
Aiden Mitchell, Scott McKenzie, Scott Swart, good cutters. John Brill, when he's cutting as well, he brings a lot of energy. And
you pretty much could list them all off almost,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So coming out here, it's a big brick pull, sneak. I'm not going to repeat exactly what Captain Sammy told me, but he said back to bleep basics. So trying to just get his team
I really want to know what he said.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, but his big motto is just trying to make them do the simple things well. I know when we've played them in the past, that's when they've done those simple things well, they're just hot. No one can stop them, but it definitely is the thing that they do creep in some cold drops or some weird decisions or funny moves. So if they can do that, if they can really focus in and control those throws and catches, then I can see them being hard to
They
stop
look
being a
more
run on.
intentional here, but they've kept the vert, which is strange. Sorry, the horo for a while there. A bit too long, perhaps. Now they've collapsed, and that looks much nicer. Still a very deep set. Oh, and Alfie, the one-handed. Behind him.
You thought
Great
he'd
catch.
overrun it for a second and then sticks it out.
Sticks the mid out.
You got to wonder,
Somehow
though,
sticks.
if Captain Sammy Ogden would still be happy. I don't think he would be. That they're trying to go back to basics, and in the end, it's a tight, squeezy huck up the sideline.
I think he's relieved, to be honest. I
Relief.
know what you mean, but I think he'll just take it at this stage. And now, yeah, congratulate Alfie for his sticky hand and keep the positive vibe.
Yeah, you got to when things are going a bit tough. But seeing and Ferdy and Hong, I want to see them behind the disc a bit more, really trying to distribute. They're the ones that are going to be able to work it and attack the other side of the field quick and aggressively.
Yeah,
Trying to get them into
absolutely,
the game.
yeah. It's interesting. They have rotated through the handlers a little bit, White. They're on defense now, but it will be interesting to see who steps up to the mark. They do have quite a few throwers, so they do rotate through, I think, and leave the area and have a lot of fields, yeah.
It's great when you have that throwing range, isn't it, where anyone can put it, swing the disc. Keeps teams really honest when they can't suddenly try to just identify a few players. They're just going to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those keen
It's a
observers.
nice luxury.
Oh, definitely. Those keen observers at home will notice Connor Fletcher with the bucket hack back on. That's a big nah from me, but that pull is a dime deep into the end zone. Only a slight downwind breeze. Sent it to Sando, swung out to Wilson. This is that lateral movement they were talking about. Wilson then now needs to be attacking the other side of the field, and he does. Sando in this distribution role, as he does so well. They're going to want to attack the other side here. See if they have the discipline
Bit
to
of an
do it.
upwind, So they're still giving the arounds, even on the weaker players, you should really try and stop that around dump. But they're looking to stop the insides, and then they give one away anyway. So
tight squeeze here.
Oh, and
Aiden
Aiden, I
Mitchell.
think, personally down, but yep, he agrees.
Look at that. Nice guy as well. It's not going to argue. It makes the play and is happy to abide by spirit of the game, which is fantastic. So Sammy picking up here, Connor working hard. Connor's rules
His
are
stack
great.
is a little bit messy here. Not a lot on, looking for the handler movement. They did a handler ISO against us a few weeks ago, which actually worked. They scored the goal.
Sammy's throwing into double, but Andrew
A lot
Chua
of
with
flair
the
in the
wheels.
jump. Andrew Chua.
Going backwards here.
Smart.
You want to see them try to move this backhand here early.
No! He looked like a drop to me.
That's that squeeze there, right? You see a nice little dump come off there to Greg, and then you really got to try to attack the opposite side. Oh, Scary picks up. His plane is moving.
I like that. That's not used enough, I don't think. Picking it up in the end zone and just going from there.
100%. David Sanston distributing. Aiden Mitchell
Nice
with a nice under here.
movement. Gets teams off guard and they get them flustered and you open up the field straight away. I really like it.
Wilson Tran with a big
Wilson
grab.
Tran.
You could hear him call Jay under towards the
And
disc, so he had that
lovely.
space.
That was a good fake. He knew what he wanted from the start, I think. He saw Sando going. He throws the fake break. Hits the line.
The man knows what he wants. If you haven't seen on Facebook, he definitely knows what he wants as well. Check out his latest relationship status.
She's right there.
It's all right, I'm only teasing.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to him indeed.
I think they've kept it secret for a while, obviously. Sophie's got more secrets for us.
Oh,
More gossip.
this is a great time for the ultimate Frisbee tradition. Who is punching?
God. I don't like that tradition.
Oh, All right, maybe they'll be safe for a different time. I'm happy to admit I'm punching very hard. But
That's a lovely sentiment. When you say it yourself, it's nice. Well, excuse me. But I think that's rubbish, to be honest. Lunny is doing well, mate.
Yep. Anyway, we'll leave it here. This conversation's going sideways real quick. What about those people at home?
She's not going to listen.
Nah,
I tell her the opposite anyway.
Always keeping the people happy. So slightly shortish pull, but they're trapped here on the sideline. Blue coming down, looking like a pommy zone. Changing it up.
They love the over the tops. And, okay, the pommy zone.
You got to feel that White love attacking that pommy we've found, and they love those overheads, but just not clicking tonight. Scott Schwartz, hard cutting again, and he's got to put it.
He loves to put it.
He does not disappoint.
It worked. Often that throw into the same third is dangerous, but came off that time.
Man, does not disappoint. He's going to give you highlight plays. You got to think, with the film and the camera on, he's made for Super League.
Great catch by Sam Davey.
Really thriving in this Flatball Z team, I would have to say.
The reason why it was such a good catch is it was the same third throw. They can be hard to catch. Behind his head, had to turn while running. So yeah, well done, well played. Once again, he picked his receiver.
Definitely. So, Sneak here going to have to respond. Who's going to step up for them right now? You saw early in the game, Greg Schrader firing on all cylinders. Sammy Ogden doing well. Alfie Edgeworth has actually had some fantastic grabs today. He's one that's been there and made the things happen for them. But who's going to step up? Who's going to make this goal happen for them now? And then importantly, who's going to start this run? They look flat. Their body language.
Does it come from the top down or does it come from the bottom up? Do you need the last couple of picks to really step up and find something, or do you need the top players to lead by example? I guess they'll take it as it comes. Nice Alfie, great dump. Off to Connor, lot faster movement, looks more intentional.
Connor distributing well here from the backfield.
Looks off the deep. Sammy Ogden cuts deep, he wants it. No under. Calling still, saying, oh, he's not going to be happy about that.
Oh, Sammy Ogden, Steve will watch that back. He'll be able to hear that from the field mic. He's going to have a chuckle to himself, I'm sure, in a few days' time.
Oh, I know that feeling. You're cutting in, you know you've got 5 meters on your back. Come on, I work so hard. Pass it to me, don't look at your dump.
So Connor Fletcher's stepping up a little bit here, distributing well from the backfield. You're really going to have to see, I think, cutters. I want to see these sneak cutters really working on these continuations, working hard. Trying to get some gainers for them.
Oh, Greg, he's dropped.
Schrader.
That's the third by my count. I don't know what's going on, but I don't think any of them were the easiest of catches, but still, Greg, he's known for his receiving. He should...
He'll be kicking himself. That's
absolutely.
That's for sure.
All right, how can they get the D here? Greg letting Rob go, just looking back at the disc.
Beautiful
Lovely swinging, which is what they were after. Oh, look at that flick from Sam Davey. He's been working on it. Oh! It almost looked like a chicken wing.
I did not get what it deserved. That deserved to be 4 foot in the grass, that throw. Falling back.
6 foot
God
under.
awful nose, but... Oh, Blue, it just falls your way, doesn't it?
That is incredibly frustrating for White. An easy, a simple error, kind of, from Greg, something you wouldn't expect from him, and then they get away with that. It can be very hard to keep your head high, but I hope they do, because they've got players, they've got exciting players, and I think now they need to focus on the process.
Definitely, and I think as much as that throw there from Rob to Tim Stevens is speculative and questionable and all these other superlatives or the opposite, comes from that amazing swing to start with, right? So
That's
they
true.
have it on that far sideline. They work it with 3, 4 great throws to change the angle of attack, and that makes your luck there, I feel.
And to be fair, that was a very open throw, so he had a lot of room for error, and as it turns out, you needed it. But, yeah. There was a lot of error for the room that he had.
So I'd like to see White doing a bit more of that, I think, and really attacking the full 36 metres of the field. I think it's 36. And
Wide, that is, yeah.
Yeah, and with a bit of pace as well. Connor's doing well from distributing from the backfield there, but it's always coming a little slow.
Leant back on that a little. The pull, short pull with the breeze. Shivering a bit here. It is, the temperature has dropped a bit.
Sure, they will be enjoying it. So another Pommy here from Flatball Z.
See a lot of overheads. He loves the look of Greg in the corner. Greg's putting his hand up for it. Can't throw it every time, Greg.
Calling it. It's going to come back to Connor. He's going to put it. He's going to put it.
He will definitely put that to Greg at some stage.
Called it.
And there it is, yep. Foley was onto it. Great D by Foley. I love the way he reaches out to catch those. Oh, boy.
Connor earns it back. Bit loose there from Flatball's in. Sammy's not going to either way. He's got to put it to his star, man.
And Foley in the air twice. No, he can't do it. But I love... Oh,
30.
I was going to say I love the follow-up chase to take away that first option, but 30 broke both of their ankles. That's what the kids say these days. Broke the ankle.
that's what they're
when
teaching at school,
when
Andy.
you totally fool people. Well, that's what I've heard.
Is that what your students are coming out with?
Yeah. Well, as soon as you fake someone out and they go one way, you go the other, it's a broken ankle.
Yep. Putting them on the floor.
I'm teaching everyone.
So
He got 2 of them too. I don't know what happened, but we'll have to review the footage.
is that fast?
Learn from the master.
So you got to see a bit of a different attitude there from Sammy Ogden. I think they're frustrated that they're trying to work it and things aren't coming off. So he says, put it and just see what happens. You got your star receiver there, and Greg Schrader in a bit of a breeze, and just see what happens. Try and get Greg back into the game maybe. And
yeah, it can be a very tricky hole to dig out of. It's sometimes trying something just radically different can be really good. Sometimes that sends you deeper into the hole and everyone gets more frustrated. It's hard to make that call, but I think generally you're right. I think there's no point in losing a game doing the same thing the whole time. I like the old saying, never lose a game without playing a zone.
yeah.
And I think the sentiment is the same even on offense. You can't lose the game by just doing the same thing and hoping that it eventually clicks in.
No, I definitely agree with that. Wise words from Andy Baddox. That's what you're hearing.
Well, I read that in a book once. Can't take too much credit. I guess that's how you earn wisdom. What's happening here? I can't see a thing.
So Rob Whiten with the hammer swing to Scott McKenzie. You're seeing Sneak come out here in a zone. It looks like a pretty South Australian classic Pommy. The one zone that everyone learns from, Rob Whiten classic, gives it, goes to John Brill. Flatball Z.
As they all flood past.
Flatball Z are great at attacking this zone. They just move it laterally so early and so well. As you can,
For a team with no handlers, they are amazing at attacking it. You're right. I think it's the run in the team.
Definitely right.
Sorry, not no handlers, but limited handlers, I guess.
You'd say that few players on that team would identify themselves as a solid
out-and-out handler.
handler,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, even Sanderson, most of his career, really, he was just a hard-working cutter as well. So
Scott McKenzie probably the only one on their roster that would define himself as an out-and-out handler, and he's got speed to get upfield as well. So,
and I'd say, 50% of the time in other teams, he plays out in the field. So, yeah.
That give-and-go movement for Blue, attacking laterally across the field. Captain Wilson Tran would be happy with that. That's what you heard them talking about in their halftime break. They wanted to swing and attack that other side of the field. They're doing it well here, and that brings it to 12-7 if I'm correct. Only a few points away. White are going to have to, I think as you said, put it, see what happens. Don't try and lose and see maybe if something can just happen and they can claw a couple back.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see. I think did they start that last point on offense? I can't remember.
That was a hold. So we've traded for the last couple here.
All right. So here on offense now. Okay. They love their over their heads.
So another
Hong holding the disc, looking around. Lovely wide release around the big mark. Back to Connor. Connor, big gainer up to Ferdy Ramadan. Ferdy Ramadan, lovely breakthrough. He gets low. I like that.
Oh, Scott Swart, that is...
By my judgment, he was definitely there first.
That is...
Connor Fletcher.
Risky coming in like
was
that.
There first.
That's how concussions can happen, but luckily both players are okay here. Oh, Connor.
He throws it so often, the fake works very well.
Is he going to throw it? Oh, he's got no one over there.
He's back to the sideline he likes, though.
So transition here for Flatball Z. Half field going into a match. How is that going to work for them? Gives White a bit of flow.
Doesn't look like White's really picked up on it. They're all over the place, spread out still.
Now.
No, finally they've...
Ferdy there.
Looking for the break. Foley does well to just hold it.
As the kids would say, broken ankles again there. Ferdy, that's twice in a row. He's put them on us. Connor just putting it to Greg Schrader.
And it works. That is actually quite amazing. I mean, from my angle, it didn't look good. I thought that was a bad option because it looked like the stack was right next to it. But I think if we look back at the footage, maybe that was. I mean, hey, it's scored. You can't argue with that.
No, you can't. You can't argue with the +1. Ferdy Ramadan there doing a good job outside the end zone. I think he'll be kicking himself that he didn't get the goal. He worked so hard for the give go on this open side. But Connor Fletcher, I think they like that receiver, don't they? That's the second goal in a row where they've just seen Greg Schrader maybe in a 50-50 and they've really backed him in. I think he's gone over those couple mid-game drops and he's finding that form he had from the start of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be there. He'll always be there. He's still always a threat, even if he has a bit of a rough game at a time. They have to watch out for him. They have to put a big match up on him. Very handy to have on your team. I think the way that they broke that zone open was probably, by my judgment, it was Ferdy Ramadan's breakthrough, and then they swung it across, and by that point, like that sort of broke up the field, and then Flatball were then trying to find their matchups quickly, and White did well to hit the opens.
I think underrated with that throw as well is the speed of that throw. If that's a slow scuba that has to bounce off a couple players to get all the way across that 36 meters, then it gives time for that defense to adjust. But the speed and pace of that backhand through that cup just makes it so damaging. The angle changes so quickly. It's a good lesson.
This is where Scott Swart looks very dangerous. He gets the under like that and then gives a nice dump and goes. You see him just burn.
Injury call here. Connor Fletcher maybe has rolled an ankle. He's really coming to form late in this game. Hopefully it's just a little tweak. Yeah.
No, he says he's out for the game.
It's always sad.
That's very unfortunate for White. Now Greg Schrader is tough to get around on the mark. He's moved right around him. Smart. Smart when you have arms like that.
It's hard when you've got a wingspan about 7 foot wide of Greg Schrader's.
Oh, I think one game in Summer Fling, he got about 4 hand blocks on me in one game.
Would not be surprised.
Unbelievable.
So stifling, Sneak doing a good job here of stopping that lateral movement of Flatball Z. Scott Schwartz, he's got to put it again.
And he likes his look. If there's a sniff, he'll throw it.
That's that 50-50, isn't it? Like 50-50, is it going to come off or not? But I think really impressive there from Sneak in controlling the lateral movement of Flatball Z, making them stay in this half of the field and not being able to attack laterally and use their legs.
Absolutely. And Sammy Ogden, look, he wants the big one, but he doesn't. Disciplined. Sends it back. Oh, and those drops are unfortunate. Did he look up before he caught it, maybe? Yeah.
That's a bit of a story, you got to say, for Sneak as well, that doing some things really well and then just those basics that Sammy talked about at halftime, just those drops that don't need to be there. Or
Yeah, tough mark to get around here, obviously. Oh, lovely play. Good line cut, and it's goal to goal.
Sneaky little lefty by Wilson Tran. He's been watching Ben Foley quite a bit, clearly.
Not sure. They come out quite wobbly.
Got to agree with you there.
Doesn't fill me with confidence, but...
Got to agree with you there.
He fakes it almost every time he gets the disc. He fakes the lefty, but he rarely puts it, probably because he knows it's a bit wobbly, but that time it worked.
Maybe watching Adelaide 2020 Nationals, maybe Super League's the breeding ground for him to bring out his lefty, but come the national season, he's going to be pulling out inside breaks and high releases, who knows. So 13-8 here. It's all going to be about defense now here.
So unfortunately,
they're going to get the goal.
That's absolutely right.
But they also, like, if they're wanting to get back in this game, they're going to need to get a lot of breaks.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, like you say, it's defense. Now they've tried the zone, and the blue seem to be able to just work their way around it. They've got that, like you say, the good swing passes, and they often have like 4 handlers back, or their poppers are very keen to get back, and they just move it quickly and around. I don't know if they can adjust their zone to try and get something out of it, squeeze some juice out of it, or try man match again, and perhaps maybe a straight up or something a little bit different. But they're on offense now. They've got to put this away.
Connor Fletcher back on the field.
And he's definitely going to put that to the speedy legs of Ferdy Ramadan. Lovely goal.
Yeah, you would take
that match up, and you would take that. Well, the thrower will take that option every day when it's Sammy Ogden. Ferdy Ramadan turns, goes 3 meters ahead. You got to put it.
So it's late in the game here, but I'm keen to see what Sneak are going to come out with this defensive point here. As you said, they've tried some zone.
Here it is, yeah.
I know in the past we found great success with junking up their lane a little bit, making them move to later stall count throws or just second guessing their options. So maybe Sneak could look for a bit of a sag look here, for a bit of a bracket look.
Yeah, we without giving too much away, because we still have to play in one more game. But we did do a poachy sort of. We didn't go out and out zone. We didn't have a lot of luck with that, but we did a little bit poachy stuff, and they were onto it. They know, but yeah, that seemed to work the best. We got a bit of a run, so we'll see if they can do something that's halfway between you going.
Yep, so Connor Fletcher, great to see him back on the field here. The fans want to see him pulling. The fans want to see him making plays. He's got the disc in hand for another pull. Just going to see Sneak step up. I want to see one of their younger boys, or not, Alfie Edgeworth as he calls it, running down on that pull. That's what you want to see. Deng Seng Ang doing the same thing as well, or Ang Deng Seng or Seng. And Connor Fletcher trailing behind by solid 15 metres.
And pick code Tim Stevens took off, but Sam Ogden caught the leg of Hong or something, and you see Hong is so far away. Sam with no one next to him. I don't know, sometimes the pick rule doesn't get followed properly.
Puts it. There's the lane there as well with Sammy trailing. He has time to turn in underneath that. Now watch here, this is where Flatball go to work. They're going to move it hard laterally. And
zips it in there.
Exactly not what I was predicting. I'm going to bite my tongue.
Someone left him free. So what was White's intention there, do you think, on D? What did they try?
I think it's a lot of the same thing. They're starting half in their pool chase. You see Alfie and Singh really burning down on the pool.
Yep.
But in the end, I think it's just they're behind a little bit, and they just need a spark. I feel they need someone to do something to ramp them up. the match defense is there. They have the talent, no doubt. But the moment Blue are just playing this game on their terms, so I'd just love to see, as you said, like they've tried the zone, but maybe what else can they pull out? Can they try
you start racking your brain,
Yeah, racking your brain, definitely.
Yeah, you start racking your brain for what's another option on D? What's another option? When I'm captaining Super League in my prime, I try to have 4 or 5 different D ideas going into a game that I can sort of turn to if things start going a bit pear-shaped. You look up the matchups, you run a few scenarios through in your head. Who could go on who? How would it look if I did this? You try and think a bit outside the box, just in case you need a draw upon it.
Definitely.
And I think at this point in time, it would be nice to see something a bit funky.
Totally with you here, but they're here coming out on offense. Look for them to put it with players again. I feel you're going to look for, squeezy throw. Connor Fletcher's going to look for Greg Strader or someone in this end zone. They're going to look for their top players like they have all night to make things happen.
Yeah, calls of 2 deep, which is fair, but they seem to get the unders. Big under gainers. Scott often gets those Ds. He's got a good read of it.
Moving it fast here, Flatball.
John
You want
Brill
to see the
looking,
bounce.
dump, swing, pass out to Sando.
Brilliant.
And attack the break side. No, hits it deep to Tim Stevens. That's a pretty good matchup to send when Alfie's behind by a couple.
Called the goal, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that's 15. And even there, you could say they could continue to swing it, but David Sanderson decides that moving it, that lateral movement, changes your angles a little bit and suddenly makes that throw difficult for the receiver to get a read on. And
well, he had a great look as it turned out, and yeah, it started with the lateral movement, and if you've got that look there, why not?
100%.
That's what your aim is anyway with the lateral movement, is to open up the field. So well, entertaining game, and I believe that puts Blue on 5, or Blue, they are Flatball Z, on 5 wins for the season, which means they should get through to the final. They got a couple of games to finish off, one against us, I believe, next week. And is it? No.
I think it's I thought it was about a 12-game season. I thought there was an extra round again, but I may be wrong, but I'm sure we'll be able to check out sultimate.net.
No, I believe there's 2 more games and then a week of a final, which should be a cracker.
Definitely.
It's good fun. We don't often have finals for Super League. But we'll call it a night, I think. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks for jumping in the commentary
and
booth.
Thank you, Rex and ULTI.TV.
It's a
we'll
fantastic
see you next week.
Thanks. Catch up.
ULTI.TV.